everybody, it's 13th Wolfman. You know, today's day 6 of the 30 days of New-vember 2021. Day 6. This is kind of fun. Boy, before we get into the movie, there's a few people doing this. There's the one and only MSJ. There's Retro Horror that's also doing it. And always like, subscribe, share, and comment. When you like it, it gets out to more people. When you subscribe, hit the bell, ding the bell, ring the bell. That way you'll be notified anytime something new is put up. And comment. I always want to know what you have to say. So what's today's movie? Today's movie is Outrage. The Outrage. It's either The Outrage or Outrage. I think it's The Outrage. It stars Henry De Silva, Claire Bloom, Edward G. Robinson, William Shatner, and Paul Newman. Now, I didn't even know William Shatner was in this movie when I set it up to record on my DVR. I saw Paul Newman's name. I'm like, Paul Newman? Movie called The Outrage? Never heard of it. This movie is it's a movie based on a Kurosawa film called Rashomon. Now, I haven't seen Rashomon. There's a few Kurosawa films I haven't seen, but I haven't seen that one, but it's got to be better than this. Oh my God. So the story is that Paul Newman plays Mexican bandit, Carcasso, who supposedly raped a woman and killed her husband. They have a trial out in the town square, and basically we're catching up with William. Well, it opens up with William Shatner, who is leaving town. He's a preacher. He's leaving town. He's lost his faith in what's happened in the world. Henry De Silva, he's a prospector. He was also at the trial because he told his version of the story. Edward G. Robinson, who's, I think, a conductor. I've never really figured out what his role was in this whole thing, if he's a conductor or if he's just passing through. But they're at a train stop, and they're waiting for the train to show up, and Edward G. Robinson's like, what's going on? And Shatner tells one version of the story, the version he heard. Then they tell the version that Carcasso tells, and then they tell. There's 4 versions, and when we get to the end of it, we find out that Henry De Silva saw the whole thing, and he's telling his version of the story. None of the stories, coincide with one another. There's not one that has a single idea of what's going on. We don't know what really happened. We don't know. I mean, I like the Henry De Silva version of the story. But yeah, it just comes down to it that all this movie was talking. It's set in it's a Western too. I didn't know it was going to be a Western. I thought when I read the description, the whole thing was going to stand place in a courtroom, because, like I said before, never seen Rashomon. I don't even know if this is close to being like what Rashomon is like. So I thought it was going to take place in a courtroom. No, it takes place in the Old West. Yeah, another Western, and it was just the weirdest movie. A lot of talking, a lot of talking. The very little action that's in this are fights between Paul Newman and Lawrence Harvey. Lawrence. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention Lawrence Harvey earlier. Lawrence Harvey is the one that plays the husband to Claire Bloom, and a lot of the fighting is between him and Paul Newman. And I mean, it's just, man, for 1964, this was boring. This is like. This was a real. I don't know. I just wasn't happy at all. I'm glad I've seen it. I can now move on because I have seen I've seen a poster for the outrage, I think it was the outrage, with Shatner's face on it, but I don't think I ever paid attention to the title. It just had this, this ghastly look, and I don't think it ever said anything about Paul Newman being in it, But it's just weird. It's a weird, stupid title. I mean, you might like it. I don't really have a whole lot of good to say about it. I mean, Paul Newman's a great actor. And so are Henry DeSilva, Lawrence Tierney, Claire Bloom, Edward G. But they got roped into this movie and somehow. And it doesn't work. At least not for me. As always, that's all I can say. As always, I am the 13th Wolfman. And I'm on the prowl.